Nearly every poll we've seen over the past few months has shown this race to be extremely close. In a close election, there's multiple kinds of ballots that get counted: overseas ballots, military ballots, provisional ballots. When it comes to counting provisional ballots that are cast by someone who had some kind of issue with either their registration or their precinct, it can take a very long time and be a very contested or combative process. But what voters can feel comfortable with is this is just the process going exactly as it should. It takes time to count provisional ballots. There's nothing nefarious going on at all. In addition to this being a very close race that could take a few days to count, there has been a flood of litigation before the election. This year, the former President Trump and the RNC have created a very highly organized operation that will be much more efficient than it was in 2020. Already, before Election Day, there have been 187 lawsuits filed. 116 of those are seeking some kind of restrictions to voting. But a lot of those 116 cases have already been decided. In Georgia, there was an effort to upend decades of settled state law about the certification of elections. But a local judge knocked that down and said to every county official, you must certify the election by the deadline. Even after the election, we can expect to see another flood of litigation with the goal of upending the certification process. This happened in 2020 as well, and lawmakers in Congress sought to create a fix, and they passed what's known as the Electoral Count Reform Act. One of the key things it did was establish that governors, the executive of a state, are the ones who are in charge of certifying a state's election and signing a certificate of ascertainment, which is effectively the slate of electors to the Electoral College. But the ECRA also set a very specific and hard deadline about when slates of electors need to be sent to the Electoral College. That's December 11th. Challenges to certification would be designed, at least in part, to try and trip up this certification deadline. And all of this would create more uncertainty and open up the opportunity for more disinformation to flood the system. If this battle were to make it to Congress, experts point to the bipartisan nature of the Electoral Count Reform Act as a reason that the majority of Congress would not vote to overturn an election. And that's giving experts confidence that they'll be more prepared in 2024 than they were in 2020 for any attempts to subvert the election. But they also note that that requires the good faith effort and buy-in from citizens, parties, and candidates.